Well, everybody, I've been putting off watching this video for over 24 hours now, I think. I saw this video come up in my recommended yesterday on YouTube, and I very much wanted to click on it. But I knew you guys wanted to see my first time reaction to it. You wanted to see fully fresh, no spoilers, nothing exposed or ruined for me, reaction to this, completely pure, and that's what I've done. I don't know anything about this video other than the knowledge I already have about the drama that this video is centered on going in. And for a brief summary that I'm sure we'll probably get in this video, basically, Shark is a lefty streamer who basically never starts shit with anybody. Like, I've never seen him start drama, especially within the left. Like, it just really seems like he tends to keep to himself and just kind of vibe and do his own thing. But the right has really lost, or not the right, the left has really lost their shit at him recently because he's black and he doesn't hate Vosh. That's really the core of it. Like, yeah, he's a large public figure in the lefty sphere, and he's black and he doesn't hate Vosh. That's why he's disliked. And so, because of that, the sort of like left tube video essayist industrial complex has been like in a desperate sort of scurrying to attack Shark for literally anything they can drum up as an excuse for. And a lot of these excuses have been accusations that he's racist or anti-black, but then they immediately follow up those accusations with calling him something like the C slur. The C-O-O-N slur. That one. Now, this slur is usually used online by, like, very progressive left-leaning black people towards other black people that are less progressive than them, or that they see as less progressive than them. And I get that's what it's supposed to, like, that's the context it's, like, meant to be used in. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I grew up in Florida, Central Florida, outside of Tampa, for a lot of that growing up, and I ran into a good few racist white people, okay? I ran into a few of them, all right? And they used that word. And they just used it synonymously with the N-word. So when I hear someone use that word to refer to a black person, I think of the times that I heard it being used by racist white people in Florida growing up, non-stop, as synonymous with the N-word. And that has been one of the go-to insults that has been lobbed at Shark by these, like, video essayist types that have been attacking him. So, lots more lore and backstory to all of it, but I really think it's better to let Shark speak for himself, and I'm sure that he does a good job of explaining all the background to this, so without any further ado, let us begin. Oh, it is not pausing the music on its own. Hold on. Usually it does that automatically. All right, there we go.
In an era of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Thank you, George Orwell. You're a good guy, Jack.
Let me know if the video is too loud or too quiet, by the way. I would very much like you to tell me if it's too loud or quiet so I can boost or lower the volume or whatever it may require.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a little bit different than normal videos that we do here on the channel, mostly because what we have to talk about is a little different than what we normally do on the channel, but that's just kind of how things are. For the last 2 weeks, basically, there's been a concerted effort to destroy my reputation, and that's just what I've been dealing with for about the last 10 days. And I want
Yep, and that's exactly what it is. Don't pretend like it's anything else than that. They're going to try to pretend like it's just criticism being offered constructively, fighting against, like, problematic behavior, or whatever list of excuses they'll make up for why this isn't actually just a very clear, spiteful move to try to destroy someone's career. It's very much that. This is just them trying to destroy Shark's career out of nothing but spite. This is lunch table politics, and Shark is the victim of harassment here.
wanted to go over it. I talked about this a little bit on stream.
One sec.
But I thought it'd be pretty good to talk about it here on the channel and make it its own segment so I don't have to bring it back to the stream. And you guys are filled in on everything. I've seen some people talk about how they've heard little inklings about here and they've been listening to the grapevine, and it's been spewing whispers about a possible drama concerning me on the Bird app. Now, some of you may be worried. I know a lot of these videos are typically set up as a sort of like apology response video, but I am going to put the brakes on all of that and let you know that don't worry. I know for a fact I don't have anything to be sorry for. So this is going to be a video explaining everything and showing my side of the story, since I know they don't care. So this is for you and not them. I think they're
based. Good. I'm glad that Shark has not had his resolve shaken. I've seen a lot of people in like the lefty sphere who get canceled in this same kind of way, canceled, quote unquote. This is just a harassment campaign, who end up being the victim of harassment campaigns like this. And because so many of the people engaging in said harassment are virtue signaling, or not virtue signaling, they use their identity as like a weapon. And say, why aren't you listening to people of color? Why aren't you listening to trans people? Why aren't you listening to yeah, whatever it may be, right? You may start to question your own resolve. And you may start to, like, actually take what these abusers are saying to heart. You don't listen to them. It is important you never listen to them. They do not care about you. They are not sincere. This is just a spite-filled hate campaign. I'm glad Shark knows that.
Bad people and don't deserve any clout or recognition or an apology from me at all. And so that's just going to be that. I want to hop into it because I don't want this video to be too long. There's some really interesting things in here that I think probably need like a little bit of an explanation, not necessarily because they needed an explanation to begin with, but because of after their basically 2 weeks of unfettered misinformation campaign that they're trying to do on me as a person. I think the lies that they've been trying to push need a little bit of an explanation, a little bit more context, since they're incredibly deceitful in the way that they're trying to go about things. That being said, I think they're pretty dumb, and I don't think a very smart person is going to be fooled by it, but somebody who doesn't know anything about me and may trust these people may believe them off the face. I just want to make these couple arguments.
Same issue that basically me and everybody else in this sphere runs into, just people lying on our name, trying to... Like, have you ever heard the phrase, your reputation precedes you, used in a movie? You hear that phrase a lot, but you never really think about what that phrase means until it applies to you. Then you hear that phrase and you're like, huh, I know what that means now. My reputation precedes me. More people have heard things about me, true or false, usually false, than they've heard from me. Like, things about me, rumors about me, word about me in general, reaches people before my actual words and face reach people. That is what that means. And that is what they are trying to do to Shark. They are trying to make a very false negative representation of Shark that precedes him.
Here on this issue because I do think they're at least a little bit important. So where did this all start? Basically, this all started when a creator, I'm not going to be saying their name, but a creator released a video on LeftTube and were very angry about me. They didn't like me and how I engaged in the space and for who and to who I talked to. I'm not mentioned very much in this video, but it's just for a split second and I want to go over it a little bit.
Now to these important next clips.
It's real bad. You guys saying that she leaked the sects, which, by the way, I saw large content creators repeating the fact that she leaked the sects, which never happened. That did not ever happen.
I do like how Soul Bunny tried to use the clip of Demon Mama correcting people on saying that... So there's a really big problem when it comes to being correct as a content creator, where people will, like, half-assed inform themselves on these things, and then, like, they'll comment on it with absolutely no, like, desire to actually fully inform themselves on it, and, like, a half-assed understanding of it, right? Like what she's calling out right now is that people were wrong in their criticism of Cat Blaque, not that Cat Blaque was in the right. It was really bizarre that they tried to use Demon Mama's quote there against her, I guess. It was weird. Basically what happened was, like, people were saying that she'd leaked the sext. No, she hadn't. She'd leaked that they had sexted, and Demon Mama was correcting that.
No sects were ever leaked by anyone. All that Cat Blaque ever did was say that the greatest extent that they ever engaged was to sext a few years ago. You guys have been spreading that lie all the fuck over the place. And honestly, that's fucking shit. Just fucking misinfo. And it is, I'm seeing it now, by the way, people perpetuating this, and this is
Yeah, I agree. We have to be the honest ones.
how you start to build up a cancellation profile for someone who didn't even do the things you're accusing of them.
First of all, F you Shark for being another black man complicit in some racist transphobic bull against a black trans woman. You're really giving leftist Candace Owens vibes. You were so mask off with your bad faith attacks on Cat Blaque. Shark was the first content creator to push this misinformation that debate bros till this day still latch onto. The hordes of racist white queer people that ran with this to attempt to silence Cat and anyone calling out the bold trans misogynoir. Shark gained a lot of clout and profited off of the attacks. Black trans people don't have to accept contradictory allyship from cis black men, throwing black trans people to the wolves that are debate bros. Cat wasn't the first or the last trans person he's gone after. The clout and access he gained after strategically going after Professor Flowers was the first time I sensed coup vibes from him. At the moment, he lacks any contrition for the hate he pushed. I don't have time to deal with Uncle Ruckus Jr. when my black and brown trans siblings are lacking resources, support, dying, and being murdered.
Okay, super interesting, right? Let's go into it. Now, I don't remember literally everything from the debacle with Cat Blaque. I made a little video recording my personal feelings on the issue when it happened because I was in chat when it was like kind of all going down. I don't remember all of the details, and the timeline is a little important for some things, not important for what I think I'm going to be talking about here, and not important for what I talked about, little tweet thread that I made talking about some of the issues, and I want to go over that and read it now. Because this person didn't read it, I'm not sure if there was she, but they definitely showed it. I said, in the video they posted as Demon Mama was talking about how people were lying about Cat Blaque leaking sex, they showed my tweet thread where I said, no matter what you think of Vosh, what Cat did the other day was 100% sexual harassment, and I think it's plain gross. I always speak highly of Cat, especially in her talks about sex and consent, which makes this even more sad. Revealing intimate conversations and publicly trying to demean and humiliate someone about their genitals is so nasty and manipulative, it genuinely shocks me someone took it with such nonchalance. If I had a falling out with a female streamer and I talked about how we sent lewd text and she had weird tits just apropos of nothing, I hope you all would tear me apart for that. It's so childish, weird, and sexual harassment. And I'm going to tell you now, I stand by this tweet 100%. This is a very good tweet thread, and I'm actually pretty shocked that I was so poignant and careful with my language here because it actually does matter. Cat and Vosh were having like a back and forth. I think Cat was in the wrong in this situation, just off the cuff, because what I remember, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I remember is that they were having a bit of a falling out. Cat said that they were talking a lot in DMs, and she said that Vosh wasn't open to listening to her at all. I feel like if they were having this conversation in private and Vosh going to her and talking to her.
What that actually means, by the way, is, and we saw their interaction, was Vosh was desperately trying to explain to her like why she's wrong, and she was like a brick wall who wouldn't listen to literally any response that wasn't, oh, you're completely right, I'm totally wrong about everything, and you're 100% right and always right, and I could never ever be right if you disagree with me. Like she was very clearly not willing to hear any response that wasn't that.
About the issues that he was having with some things in the space, some issues related to identity, and they were having that discussion in private. I don't think Kat was really caring to listen to him at all, which is fine and completely within her right to not do. She doesn't have to. She doesn't owed him any conversation at all. I just think that it's weird to proposition yourself as somebody who wasn't listened to at all or not respected, when in the conversation itself it showed that you were not caring about what he had to say at all and didn't care to provide any information or work with him at all in this conversation. I just don't know what the point of talking to each other would be at all. And it seemed like he trusted her because they shared some intimacy together. After this, I'm pretty sure what happened is that somebody in Vosh's chat said that you may not be her type because they were having like a little bit of a back and forth. I think there's a little bit of misogyny in there. If I remember correctly, Vosh was like, I'm pretty sure she's into white guys. I do believe that what Vosh said was wrong, and I think a reasonable person could categorize it as sexual harassment as well. I believe what he said almost verbatim was that he thinks that she fetishizes white guys, and I think that's wrong. I won't add any more qualification there.
I do think that in a vacuum you could say that comment is wrong, but when you consider the context, you know, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's true, but you shouldn't say it, you know? Does that make sense?
Obviously, what he said made her feel a certain type of way, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong. If he didn't want her to come back at him, obviously he shouldn't have said anything. Kat then went on to talk about how they sexted before in the past, years ago or something. How they sent sexual text messages, how they were like sexting or trying to get each other to fucking nut or something. I don't know necessarily in DMs. I don't use Twitter necessarily as a dating app, or at least I try not to. But as far as I remember, that's what happened. And then after that, she then went on to talk to some people in her community or whatever about how Vosh is weird. He has like an ugly, weird, small dick or something along those lines. And that's the part that I really had a massive issue with. Having somebody reveal something to you privately, like their genitals or something that is supposed to be a confidential situation, and then you just use it specifically to body shame them in that moment. I think that's pretty crazy. And I still stand by my hypothetical at the end of the tweet thread to kind of like bring it home to people who may not be on the same page as me. That if I were to have a falling out with like a female content creator and they were talking and somebody in their chat said, maybe you two are not.
Yeah, he literally just made the same argument that like the left makes constantly about white supremacists and Nazis. Like you literally. Yeah, so I will say, if you have a problem with what Vosh said about Cat Blaque, then you should also have a problem with lefties accusing conservative transphobes of being chasers. They are equally as bad. So you are a hypocrite if you're fine with calling conservative, like, transphobe figures chasers behind the scenes, but you have a problem with Vosh saying that Cat Blaque's, like, very blatant, like, hatred of white dudes doesn't stem from some weird, like, sexual, like, repressed kink shit. Or something along those lines. I don't remember what he said. But the same reason why a lot of, like, racist white dudes are also, like, into cuck fantasy porn.
Getting along because you're not his type. And then she was like, I'm pretty sure she's into, you know, insert in identity girl here. And then I came back with talking about how we used to sex, and she sent me titty pics. And then I said that she had weird tits. I would hope that you all would tear me out for that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is it not? Am I just am I an insane person here for thinking that's crazy? Because I think that's crazy. And I never said that she leaked text. I never said that she leaked text. That's a very clear thing. That's a very specific thing. And I didn't say that she did that. I very clearly said that she revealed that they had intimate conversations, which she did. I could say she talked about how they had intimate conversations. I still respect and I like Kat. I'm still subscribed to her and I still watch her content. I don't think that she's a bad person. I think good people can make bad decisions, and I think good people can do some incorrect things. I think Vosh has done bad things, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But I think Kat has done bad things here, and I think it very clearly is sexual harassment. I consider like other content creators and everything coworkers here to some degree, and I think doing something like that is sexual harassment. I think it is pretty fucked up. If I said did like it once again,
if it wouldn't, like, I do think there's a certain point where you start to realize if it wouldn't be acceptable, like, in a work environment, then it probably shouldn't be acceptable in like, the content creator space as far as, like, your personal behavior goes. Like, you do have a level, like a certain level of responsibility to ensure that your behavior is, like, at the very least in line with what would be acceptable in a work environment. When you're engaging with other content creators, because when you break those rules, that's when you start to get into like scandal territory as a content creator, like Illuminati or like any other list of content creators who've gotten into shit for being super unprofessional.
and if I did something like that to a woman content creator or a man content creator, like gender doesn't even necessarily matter here, but like you get show on the other fight, you know, swap the roles type thing. People typically respond better to that. I don't think it's good, but it happens. But yeah, if I did this to a man, I still think it'd be pretty messed up. The bro showed me his taint and it's like dimpled like chicken skin. He's so gross. Lamau, what an idiot, dumbass. I think it'd be pretty messed up. I don't think that you should do that. And I don't think I'm in the wrong here for calling Kat out on this. I'm pretty sure I even also, she didn't play me talking about Vosh, but which is also really interesting. And all of these sorts of things, what you're going to see is that they play me.
Streamers get away with shit that would get you fired instantly in another job. Exactly, right? But you start to realize, I would hope you'd start to realize, I did, that you want to try to model your behavior around, like, treating these other content creators as if they were coworkers in a work environment. And that doesn't mean letting, like, bad shit slide. But it certainly doesn't mean, like, starting drama over every tiny little thing or attacking them over every tiny little thing, right?
Talking about black people or some other types of people or some other groups, but they never play me criticizing the people who they say I'm always peddling for. I also really want to put this idea of my mistreatment of Professor Flowers to rest, because in my original video that I released about her discussion with Vosh, I really feel like I was incredibly fair and kind to her in that discussion. I'm not going to be rehashing.
It's fucking wild that we have to pretend like any negative response that these people get is like some horrific thing that's happened that we have to answer for. And it's like, what? Like, anybody who's in like the left tube like streaming sphere who responded to Professor Flowers is responsible for like any shit she got for her terrible beliefs when she went viral for being so horrific with her beliefs. Like, I don't know, it's just so embarrassing.
In relitigating everything that I said in that video, because I think that video stands by itself, and I really think that I made all of the points that I needed to. That on top of the fact that, like, I don't remember every single detail of those discussions because it just happened so long ago now. But I want to talk about this because I think, like, normal, rational people could possibly be lied to about my possible treatment of Professor Flowers. And I just think that's unfortunate because I really think I was pretty good in my analysis. So since I'm blocked by Professor Flowers now, and I'm pretty sure we block each other, I'm going to do something that I don't typically do, but I feel like it's going to be important in this situation because all of these people keep wanting to lie about this, and I just feel like at this point I don't have any other reason not to show this. So I'm going to be, unlike what I said to Cat Black, I am going to be leaking DMs, my DMs with Professor Flowers, because we did actually talk a little bit. And this is why I think that I treated her pretty well, because I believe that she thought that I treated her so well, in fact, that she believed that I was worth having even a little bit of a correspondence with. So here is my correspondence with Professor Flowers. On September 25th, 2021, holy crap, it's been so long. But she reached out to me after my video and said, "Hi, I saw your video about my debate with Vosh. I just wanted you to know that Vosh and I agreed on an entirely different topic than in anti-capitalist violence and separatism. I was completely unprepared for this topic, and I think debating colonialism is wrong. And this is a subject that needs to be listened to and understood, not argued. It's really frustrating that people are critiquing me."
That's what people on the left say when they can't defend their position, is that this like topic isn't up for debate. You need to shut up, sit down, and listen to marginalized people. This isn't a debatable topic. That means like they literally can't defend their position on it, and so they're so scared of the concept of someone else having to defend it that they're like opposed to debating that topic. It's why you oftentimes see a lot of these types of lefties not just against like debate conceptually, but against certain types of topics being debated, right? They'll say, no, this isn't an up for debate topic, right? It's like, well, clearly it's up for debate if people disagree with the actual truth on it. I hate this weak, cowardly shit. Yep, me too.
As if I was ready to have these conversations at all. I'm making a follow-up video that you can keep an eye out for. If you find me insufferable, then at least it's for what I actually believe and intended to say. And I think this is genuinely a pretty good response by Professor Flowers, and I thought it was incredibly kind. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate it so much in the moment I hearted it, because I didn't have any ill will towards Professor Flowers, and I still really don't. And so here was my response. So here's my response about a day later. I'm always up for what people have to say. My honesty in these situations is why I have the platform to begin with. So if you make it, I will watch it. This was my promise to Professor Flowers, that after I watched her debate with Vosh, that I would watch her follow-up video to make sure that I understood exactly what she had to say, because I did care about what she had to say. I've heard what she has to say now, but before I was very open to it, and I let her know that. And I did actually watch that video. I didn't really like it, but once again, I knew what she actually thought, and we could just have that disagreement there. And I thought that was a good thing. Later, I also came back and said, also, your talk with President Sunday gave me more insight into how you thought, and I think it was great to hear you expand on some of your ideas. While I don't agree with all of them, it's hard to hate someone who, at the very least, shares my goals in bettering the world. And that was the last thing I said to Professor Flowers before she blocked me. I don't think I ever really talked about Professor Flowers after this, or in a way that like expanded on my opinions of her or her ideals than this. This was basically it. I didn't have any other things to say about Professor Flowers. I still don't really have anything more to say about Professor Flowers. I just don't. It just doesn't seem, I just feel like it's very strange to say that I was like incredibly uncharitable to her when this is the type of charity that I was giving.
Oh yeah, they don't care about being honest. You can be as nice as physically possible to them. It doesn't matter. They aren't honest in their critiques. They aren't in good faith. They are just trying to bait you into saying something that can be used against you. They seek nothing other than to destroy your ability to have a livelihood, to reach an audience, and to have a platform. Their top priority is destroying your career. That's all they care about. That's why all of their advice and critique and, constructive critique is usually stuff that as a content creator, you know would hurt your channel. Like, how often do these people, when they're supposedly giving you constructive criticism, ask that you do a type of content that would demonstrably fail and fuck over your channel? Like, stop doing videos about, like, responding to dumb conservatives like this and do some real organizing. It's like, how well do you think my channel would do if that's what I was doing, right? Like, they don't care about, like, what happens to you. They just want to see you fail. And they're using, like, progressive sounding critique to justify their hatred of you.
To her. I didn't make any promises about anything. All I said that I will listen to what you have to say. I will internalize it. I'll think about it. I hope that we come to an understanding. That's basically it. That's all you really can do in these situations. I'm not just going to believe whatever she says. I'm not just going to turn my brain off and let just random people put like whatever they want in my head. Not every black person is good on black issues. Not every black person is great on indigenous issues. Not every trans person is great on trans issues. Not every woman is great on woman issues. Just because you're of a certain identity does not mean that you're worth listening to on those issues for making the world a better place for that group of people. It's just not true. If that was the case, then I would listen to Candace Owens on black issues, and we all know that's something you shouldn't do. To wrap up this like Professor Flowers thing, and I hope this is the last time I ever talk about it, I just find it so weird that all of these people come for like me and other people in the space that disagreed with Professor Flowers, when even in this DM, she told me she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. She just wasn't ready for it. She couldn't defend her arguments clearly and succinctly. And I think that's why she felt like the debate was bad. She literally said that almost verbatim. So I don't know why you're coming at me by saying that I think that she poorly articulated her points, when she very clearly believes that she poorly articulated her points in her debate with Vosh, and in this DM that she sent to me that she thought she wanted me to read because she thought that she like respected my opinion in some way or wanted me to think differently of her in some way. And I just think that's weird that you're going to come for me now when this is actually genuinely what she believed about her own debate performance. This isn't me. I didn't do anything. I'm just literally stating exactly what she believes about her own arguments. But on that note, onto the indigenous thing, because a lot of these people are trying to use this to try and say that like me and other people in this space are like anti-indigenous or land back or something, when actual indigenous people came out against Professor Flowers' arguments and said that they were harmful, wrong, and she shouldn't be talking about them in this way. And if that's not more of an indictment on her arguments, then I don't know what else is than the actual people coming out and saying that those arguments were bad and harmful.
Well, it's because when they say listen to people of a certain marginalized group, they don't actually mean it. They mean listen to the people of this particular marginalized group that don't like you, agree with my point, and are like, and hate you. Like if you say, like whenever I would get canceled by like, as Keffels would call them, tender queers on Twitter, they'd get mad at me for being a cis straight guy talking about trans issues, and say I need to sit down and listen to trans people and what they think about these things as a cis man. I'm like, yeah, well, my massive, like, almost majority trans audience is here saying that I'm doing just fine and I should keep doing what I'm doing. So which trans people should I listen to? And they make it very clear they mean not those trans people, as in not those trans people that like your content. You know, the ones that don't like you, you know? It's like, all right, well, there you go.
Aren't those supposed to be the people who you said that you should be listening to? Isn't Professor Flowers here the person who should be like sitting down and listening to the indigenous people? But instead of that, all of these people just keep harping on about how we're the bad guys and we're the bad ones, when I'm agreeing with almost every single indigenous person I've heard chime in on this issue, period. I have indigenous people in my audience, and I actually
I've been very vocal about trans stuff lately too, but that hasn't happened to me yet, but I know it's coming, lol. I think right now, because you're getting so much shit from like the EdgeTube commentary sphere, that's probably gonna like mostly be the focus for a little while. But once that dies down, it'll just die down if you don't respond to it and you just do your own thing. It's gonna die down, and they're just gonna like stop. If you don't engage with it, they're gonna stop. And that's probably when, like, as you grow into like a figure known among the left, that the woke skulls will come after you. That's probably how it'll go, Tipster. They'll come after you once you're done dealing with like the commentary EdgeTube types shitting your direction. Yeah, I'm just ignoring the commentary cringe. Yeah, if you just ignore them, it'll go away. And then after that, you'll probably have to deal with lefties. That's probably how things will go. The lefties will come after you after that.
Insulted them before I made my video about Professor Flowers. It's just the problem that you have is not with me.
Welcome to LeftTube, brother.
And what I said about Professor Flowers. If you think I gave coon vibes by disagreeing with Professor Flowers, then congratulations, you think indigenous people give off coon vibes by disagreeing with Professor Flowers as well. And I think that's very stupid. Sad. 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 I do also want to say that it's super funny that they were going on and on about how they don't want to go back and forth with any of these bigots. I'm a bigot, apparently. I get all the notifications when you reply back to them. It's like I want the harassment to die down, as they're actively pushing harassment against me. Listen, calmness for me, but not for thee. You deserve all the harassment. You deserve the threats and everything, but not me. Not me. I'm the good boy here. Another example of her pushing people to literally harass me, but you know, whatever, I guess. Shark3ozero! They didn't even put the dot in front so it wouldn't end up as a reply, so basically nobody saw this tweet, which is super funny. But anyways, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't simply not like you. I don't like the way you move. She hates the way I move. I don't know what that means, and I don't really care either. Using some of the same tactics as Candace Owens to uphold the white status quo. Reducing pushing lies and misinformation on Cat Blaque isn't drama. It's strategic trans misogynoir for your own clout profit gain. I also want to mention that whoever those two content creators who talk to you aren't black trans people who have more sorry, wait, what? This is my first time reading the second tweet. I read the first tweet and I didn't give a shit. I haven't read the second tweet yet. I also want to mention that whoever those two content creators who talk to you aren't black trans people who have some reason to be angered with your coonery against black trans figures, cope or whatever you need blood. So here's the thing. I think I talked to just one person on stream and he wasn't black. He called in to ask if I was okay, actually, because he saw all the harassment that I was getting. I'm fine, just so you know. You don't need to reach out to me and ask if I'm okay. I am okay. I'm fine. I promise. This is the first time that I've been engaged in this type of stuff. But this isn't the first time that I've dealt with any of these types of creatures, insects, as I would like to call them, by the way that they act. So it didn't really necessarily have anything to do with
I'm glad that Shark is not being light with his language. I was a little worried that Shark might be a little bit more inclined to be favorable or charitable to this sphere. But I am very happy to see that he's giving no quarter. And he's calling out the bullshit as it is. And he's not, like, playing into the delusional idea that these people are valid or good, like, in good faith in their critiques.
Having them come on to prove that I'm right. They asked to come on to ask if I was okay because they're good people and they saw that I was being harassed. And I'm a pretty quiet person and I don't even talk necessarily about how everything makes me feel. And I haven't talked about how everything makes me feel. And I may not even necessarily in this video talk about how everything makes me feel. We'll see by the time we get to the end, right? Whenever that will be, because I don't know necessarily how long this video will be, but I'll try and cover everything that I can as concisely as I possibly can. Calling me something like Candace Owens is just simply ridiculous and low IQ. I'm nothing like Candace Owens. And I even think that is disrespectful to black people who have come under fire from people like Candace Owens or people like Dave Rubin, because the way in which they act and how they uphold white supremacy is far different than my insults to certain people. It is just far different in every way, shape, or form. I actually think about how some things that I say could possibly be used against some black people. We'll talk about that in a moment, but you guys don't, and you don't care. Never have, never will. And I find it hard to care about what you have to say when you don't keep yourself up to the same exact standards as you would try to hold me to. I'm not like Uncle Ruckus. I've never watched Boondocks, mostly because I hate black people. No, I don't really watch TV. So I don't really know necessarily about Uncle Ruckus. I don't watch slave movies either. Those are for white people. Once again, we'll talk about that in a moment. So I'm not like 100% privy to literally every...
The lore behind Uncle Ruckus is fucking insane. You can find it on YouTube. Oh, he admitted it. No, but seriously though, you can find a YouTube video about the lore behind Uncle Ruckus, and it's insane. It's pretty good. It's a pretty funny scene. Okay, it is objectively funny.
Reference they're trying to call me, but I just think it's ridiculous. When the Candace Owens one, I'm very sure of. I'm nothing like Candace Owens. I'm not even using the same tactics as Candace Owens. Candace Owens is very clear and very hateful and very bigoted. I'm nothing like Candace Owens. Sorry. And if I am, that says more about how you don't understand who Candace Owens is or who any of these anti-black people are more than it says anything about me. All of this says more about you than ever will about me, ever. Sorry. And I also find it super interesting. Every single one of these types of people who like to say that they hate that they hate drama, they don't want to be in drama, literally every single last one of them only engage in drama, or like mostly drama, or love drama. They love drama. And then they go on, and so they drop a drama video after a drama video after a drama video.
They're cry bullies. Pretending like you don't like drama and like you don't care about drama and you're not into it and it's not your thing is like the best way to seem like you're the victim. Or like you're talking about this kind of stuff reluctantly, and so you must be in the right when talking about this. It's a manipulation tactic. The I don't like drama thing. Everyone likes drama. Everybody is intrigued by drama or attracted by drama conceptually. Not everybody likes to be involved in drama, obviously, but everybody finds drama interesting as far as entertainment value. Anyone who says they don't is lying.
After a drama video, and then they'll see how well the drama video does, and then they'll take a screenshot and then upload.
It depends on the drama, obviously. But, like, if you have, like, a very particular interest and there's drama happening in that sphere, in that interest, you're going to be interested.
How well this video did compared to their last videos that weren't about drama, and then they'll be like, I can't believe the world is so cruel like this, and then they'll drop another drama video. I drop some drama videos every now and again. I'm not going to lie to you. I would hope that we could learn something from it, but I don't go here and I can't believe there's so much drama when all these people do is make drama. This person who's like been criticizing me this whole time, this specific person, their entire channel is simply drama. It's only drama. That's it. That's it. Their whole channel is simply just trying to attack other creators. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to attack other creators who deserve it. I'm just saying that I just think it's really ridiculous how they're really up into the I hate drama crowd, drama bad crowd, when at the end of the day, they love drama. They enjoy drama. They imbibe in it. That's all they ever talk about or do. That's kind of how it is. Sorry. This person holds themselves up as some sort of steward, some bulwark, some sort of incredible person who's here to change things, who's beating the heck out of the racist white queer community when they're just harassing people at the end of the day, honestly. But hey, listen, it's whatever. And if they're going to come at me for my connections, I feel like that it would be a great opportunity to highlight connections. I think connections are interesting, so interesting. Everybody has so many connections with so many curious types of people, really. And I think this person has some very curious connections indeed. From what I've seen. They're going to say my connection with Vosh is like the big problem with why they dislike me. I'm not very connected with Vosh at all. We have some overlap in our communities. I have a lot of people who don't like Vosh in my community. If I mention him, I get a lot of people who are like, don't end up like him, don't be like him. I like you because you're pretty different from him. There's reasons to dislike everybody, so it's just whatever. At the end of the day, I think this whole thing with connections is going to be very curious because I don't think this person has very good connections themselves. So bad, in fact, that I think a lot of you all may actually find the connections that they have to be very worrisome, curious, and also questionable, especially with some of the things that these people are engaged in. Do you guys remember Eden? The video that I made on Eden, the Saudi Arabian trans woman who was kidnapped from America, human trafficked back to Saudi Arabia, and forced to detransition, which ultimately led to her end? Do you all remember that? Well, something that I haven't talked about too much, because I didn't want the video in which we talked about her to be consumed by them and their debauchery. Get this freaking chair out of here, man. Get the hecking chair out of here, man. I'm talking. One thing that I didn't talk about is how there's not only a group of people who loved and respected and was cherishing her life and respecting it. There's also a group of people who are very loud and very gross, who spend their time trying to attack people who are her friends, and who do remember her fondly. And it is wildly disgusting to see. And these people who are coming after me are connected with. Specifically, I thought it was very curious how she was found palling around with this person in particular. Let's just call them SG for now. This SG person engaged with this on this platform. And this tweet is, I don't understand how Parker could let Eden get taken like this. This tweet is in response to the SG saying that Parker, which is Eden's partner or ex-partner now, the person who was romantically involved with Eden, they're spending their time harassing this person whose trans partner was killed by the brutal anti-trans government of Saudi Arabia. This is just genuinely sick, and it makes me sick. And they're connected to even another person who's kind of the big cheerleader in this. This person who I'm not even going to show you on stream, but if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Jay. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Name starts with J. These people.
Yeah. It's still happening, by the way. Jai is still doing this to this day. So yeah. This is genuinely a disgusting group of, like, scumfuck, just bad people who are using the identity of leftist and the aesthetic of progressive critique to engage in, like, the most disgusting, abusive behavior you can possibly imagine. But guess what? They not only get away with it, but they get to come off looking like the heroes for doing it. Because as long as they wrap up their abuse in enough woke-sounding language, then they look like a hero.
Who are connected to this person. They're following, they're having a good time with, they have connections with, they talk to. These people have the sun emoji that I talked about in the video that we made about Eden. Oh
yeah, the person that Shark is talking about right now also started the Keffels is racist stuff. Like, literally every, like, media campaign of like negative rumors you'll hear about, like, lefty live streamers started in that sphere of LeftTube, and they actively made it up knowingly, with no other, like, goal other than to spread lies about people they don't like.
Well as a cigarette. And if you know what that means, you'll know how gross that is, how absolutely disgusting that is, but I'll explain it for you. Basically, what it means is it means to smoke one, new pack in the air. It means someone died, your opposition, someone who you don't like died. New op pack in the air is a way to say it, typically with a cigar. Also can be known as smoke a British cigarette, but here in the States, that F word would have a different meaning, and that's the whole point. Another big content creator does this, actually. It's his calling card, an account 100% dedicated to celebrating when trans people die, whether it be by suicide or murder or anything. That's his calling card. He loves to do that too, where anytime a trans person suffers, is abused, assaulted, harassed, killed, they love to post that, especially when they don't like them. I don't like any of these people, but you won't catch me ever celebrating or being friends with people who celebrate murder of brown trans women. Here's another person there.
Well, I mean, these people are friends with Bad Bunny, who's notorious for her, like, black bisexual man would make her vomit rant. You know, like, some of the people that these, like, woke skull types throw in with are some of the most not woke people ever, who have like the most disgusting, dirty like background in history and skeletons in their closet you can imagine, but they'll dig further back than that to find dirt on people they don't like. But they repented. It's a religion. They do. This is something that I think a lot of like the anti-SJW type YouTubers did get right in some of their critique of the more insane aspects of the left, is that it does almost seem like they treat progressivism like religion. Like being straight, white, and male is being born with original sin. If you have any of those particular things, and that you are inherently like more holy or in a more like cosmically valuable state if you're part of like a certain group. Like it is a little bit like religion, you know. It is a bit like religion.
Connected with quote tweeting Solera back when she was around. Okay, so post your selfies on the Kiwi site. What they're talking about is Kiwi Farms, a forum dedicated to harassing people. Unless one of our 20 mutuals can talk you down from gleefully using your cis reppy guys to harass other trans people through a block. How about that? I know this community isn't so small that someone can't start a conversation, or maybe the Kiwi site can help me start one. This is them actively saying that they would like to use Kiwi Farms, a place dedicated to finding and harassing. And
the woke scolds and the Nazis are allies. Neither of them will say it out loud, but they are. The woke scolds and the Nazis have always been allies, in at least effect. It's always been like lefty content creators that are, you know, just kind of trying to do their own thing versus Nazi like YouTubers and Nazi like commenters that are like harassing them, and then also the lefties in the sphere that don't like them, going after them because they're advocating for leftism wrong, or just whatever petty disagreement or dislike there is between the two. This shit with Eden has never made it more clear that woke scolds are functionally Nazis. Oh yeah, like if I died in a freak accident tomorrow, these people would be celebrating it. You would see memes passed around like celebrating my death all over Twitter from these people. They would be cheering from the rooftops if I died like overnight, and it was like in the news. These people want nothing more than like my death and the death of anybody who likes me. And tap dancing on the graves of trans people to attack a trans person that they don't like, that they have a disagreement with. That, everyone, is insane. Kira Chats. Now, a lot of you may not know who this Kira Chats person is. They were formerly known as Bad Bunny, but they rebranded due to old issues that they don't want to bring back up. But we'll talk about it here because it's important. Because if this person wants to get mad at me for my connections, let's talk about some of theirs. This Kira Chats person, they used to go by Bad Bunny specifically. And Bad Bunny was known as a pretty... Oh yeah, Noah Sampson's also been liking these tweets as well, so I already knew Noah Sampson was a piece of shit, but I imagine there were still some people around that were holding out hope that Noah Sampson was like not a piece of shit. But yeah, Noah is on the side of like Soul Bunny and Professor Flowers and that entire side of Twitter. He also made a video on me and sent his audience to like mass hate comment in my comments, but then I made a reply video and all of his arguments were really bad, and then he privated the video for a while, and then once everybody stopped dunking on him, he brought the video back, and so it's public again. But he privated it for like 2 months after everybody started dunking on it when I made my response.
Bad person, actually. Something that happened to them before. You may remember them as the $5 a month girl. I know Moist Critical, Charlie made a video about her. Like, I think it's called The Greatest Streamer Ever. It went popular. It went super...
Oh yeah, Noah Sampson, if I wasn't specific.
Mega viral of her going, $5 a month, right? That thing. I thought that it was just like a joke within the community. I didn't think that she deserved all that like hate thrown at her for that, but it happened. And just if you want to know who that was, you've probably seen that. That's who this person is. Something that's a little lesser known about her though is what she was engaged in a couple years ago. Actually, in some cases, not even a couple years ago. Sometimes about a year ago.
I for one would never be involved with a guy who's bisexual. Well, wait, doctor, shut the fuck up. I couldn't do it. There might be exceptions, obviously. When I say I couldn't, like, I wouldn't be attracted or I'm not attracted, obviously if it's like, obviously there could be exceptions, all you super literal nerds out there, but like, I don't like, the guy's just like having sex with other guys, and he's like, oh, maybe I'll try having sex with you. I'm like, even black people, if you found me a black bisexual man, I might throw up in my mouth. You can't hate gay people anymore? Why not? I want to to hate whoever the fuck I want to hate. I want to hate a person because they're wearing Crocs. Why can't I hate a person because of whatever else trivial? If that reason is trivial, if I can hate a person for wearing Crocs, that's an incredibly trivial reason, and then people can harp on me about how stupid it is for me to hate an entire person because of the Crocs they wear. But you see me, I will hate the fuck out of that Croc wearing.
She then went on to have a whole conversation and to defend literally all of her points and said she refuses to date a black person, period, with Destiny. Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II. It was so bad, in fact, that like even in that discussion, no matter, like I know a lot of these people think Destiny is crazy racist, and if she came out of this discussion with Destiny looking that bad, what does that make her? Right? My dogs. My dogs. And another person who this person's coming after me follows, enjoys, likes, and is always around them in their comment section. Here's what they had to say about Eden as well. Once again, let me remind you, a trans woman who was forcefully detransitioned, taken from her home, kidnapped, lied to, human trafficked, and killed by the Saudi Arabian government. Here's what they had to say about her. White trans spaces claim to have adopted the sun emoji to mourn the death of Eden Knight, who took her own life due to the persistent bigotry of her own parents.
Okay, so background here that I assume we'll get in a minute. Basically, Eden, aka Solaria's, like logo was like the like sun on Twitter, like the sun emoji. But Nazis use the sun emoji as well sometimes on their niche Nazi accounts to represent like the black sun, which is like a Nazi thing. And so basically woke scolds tried to say that if you were a friend of Eden and you were mourning her death, and so you had a sun emoji in your name on Twitter to like honor her, then you were actually playing into like that was somehow helping Nazis or appropriate for, like, listen to what they say.
But this is not why these folks have adopted the sun emoji for this. They adopted the emoji as a subtle way to launder their hatred for a single black trans woman for the crime of criticizing her for her racist behavior. Being called out for being racist has nothing to do with Eden's transphobic, hateful parents bullying her to death. This is what the sun emoji here actually symbolizes: an attempt to use one trans suicide for a very large.
Oh, this person's argument is even dumber. Okay, never mind. I saw people arguing that it was like a Nazi dog whistle, but this person's straight up arguing that, like, because they harassed Eden and called her racist and like tried to attack her nonstop and cancel her all the time, and like, you know, she ended up being killed because of the Saudi Arabian government's like anti-LGBT legislature, that like they're like, oh shit, that makes us look really bad, so we need to find a way to like make it so her friends who are still around that we're harassing and we've been spending the last few years shitting on, we have to find a way to make it so they're still somehow the bad guy.
Many, and try to turn the entire LGBTQIA plus against one black trans woman, one who was in no way responsible for her death. Not one iota. The person who they're talking about is this person whose name begins with J. This person who bullied, harassed, and is laughing, tap dancing on the grave of this dead woman. Wild. I personally wouldn't have connections like this personally, but, you know, maybe some people have different values. Here's these two interacting with each other. And if you go back through any of these tweets, they love interacting with each other. They follow each other. They talk all the time. And this is what they have to say about dead trans women. But hey, listen, I'm the one who's transphobic. Here's them again confiding with somebody who personally laughed at the death of Eden. Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe it's all at the end of the day still just a me thing. Who knows? Who can tell anymore? Now, in response to this video, in response to this clip that was posted on Twitter, I tweeted, why do these people want to call me a house N-word hard R for disagreeing with them on like 2 drama cycles? They went full.
Shark powered up for that one. He used his ult.
Bro. You tripping.
Off of this one. They didn't like this one, not one bit. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that, and let me show you exactly what happened. In response to this is what happened. This Tayerb person replied to me and said this, quote tweeted me, which is the most aggressive move that you can make on Twitter, mind you. Dog, I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, but when the majority of black creators are calling out bigotry and you consistently side with the white ones, trying to be holier than thou in our spaces, there's a pattern, and you gotta do some introspection. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to be holier than thou. This is just who I am. I'm just this type of person.
Notice how it's gotten to the point now where Sharks defended himself against these bogus accusations of racism, and so now people are attacking him for his response. Because the assumption is these criticisms must have been valid, so Shark responding in any way that isn't like you know, very charitably in good faith on the face of it, comes off looking bad to a lot of people that are just watching from the sidelines and don't know the context.
If I'm holier than thou to you, then you must be quite unholy. That's just a you problem. It has nothing to do with me. That being said, I'm not sure if I can say like the majority of Black creators. You don't know the majority of Black creators. I don't know the majority of Black creators. You don't know the majority of Black creators. Tyrb, and I don't know what he's even like trying to refer to here. Because for me personally, and I'm not even sure what this person is trying to say here, because he also sides with white people. Like white people are on both sides of the argument. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never said that there isn't racism in the community that I'm in. I'm not in his community. His community is cornbread tube. That's the community that he's in. I'm not in that community. I don't have anything to do with that community. I don't want anything to do with that community. I don't like it. I don't like the people that are in it. They just seem like horrible human beings. So I'm not engaged in that community.
Oh wait, which community is he talking about right now? Cornbread tube?
You the benefit of the doubt, but when the majority of Black creators are calling out bigotry and you consistently side with the white ones, trying to be holier than thou in our spaces, there's a pattern, and you got to do some introspection. Here's the thing: I'm not trying to be holier than thou. This is just who I am. I'm just this type of person. If I'm holier than thou to you, then you must be quite unholy. That's just a you problem.
Oh, he's referring to FD signifier and like that sphere bread tube. Oh, it's a racial joke. Holy shit! Hold on. I didn't even see it as a racial joke. I've just always seen cornbread as the objectively least, like, ideal type of bread. Like, they always used to serve cornbread at school, like, on Thursdays, and it was always like... I mean, it's okay, but it's got, like, this sort of, like... It's not my favorite, you know? Xan, how dare you? I mean, I always ate it, and I always polished it up, but it was, like, wasn't the best. So I always see it as, like, inferior, you know? Like the inferior food that would be on the tray. So I thought that was sort of the association I was making. That is still a good joke, though.
Has nothing to do with me. That being said, I'm not sure if I can say, like, the majority of Black creators. You don't know the majority of Black.
Yeah, I don't actually know where the racial, like, component is there, but, like... All I know is that cornbread is pretty common in the South, and, I mean, a lot of Southern culture is really just Black culture, and vice versa, so it kind of just, I guess there's association there. God damn it, my auto loot keeps on, like, not picking up the, the deviant fish fast enough.
Creators. I don't know the majority of Black creators. You don't know the majority of Black creators. Tyrb, and I don't know what he's even, like, trying to refer to here. Because for me personally, and I'm not even sure what this person is trying to say here, because he also sides with white people. Like white people are on both sides of the argument. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never said that there isn't racism in the community that I'm in. I'm not in his community. His community is cornbread tube. That's the community that he's in. I'm not in that community. I don't have anything to do with that community. I don't want anything to do with that community. I don't like it. I don't like the people that are in it. They just seem like horrible human beings. So I'm not engaged in that community. I'm in many different communities. That's just one that I'm not really in. The people who subscribe to that community just seem like mostly bad human beings who I don't want anything to do with, and I hope never try to speak to me again. I have most of them blocked, and I would like to keep that a thing. And then he went on to get on me about like criticizing his video.
I know, right, Ellen DeGenerate? It's wild. I'm farming gold in real life and in WoW right now.
Which is super strange because I didn't believe that I criticized his video. If you remember, I shouted out Tyre when he made his video. He mentioned me in it, and I wanted to talk about tokenization because I felt like that'd be a great discussion. I listened to it back, and for some reason, he thought that I was just like completely destroying his video when I very clearly said, I'm not taking down this video. I think everybody here makes good content. I think you should watch the video, and I think he touched on really good points, and I agreed with a lot of the points that he made. He thinks that I was criticizing his video because I didn't agree with every single point, down to every single word that he said. That's why he...
And that's their standard for, like, disagreement that makes you bad, by the way. Like, you have to agree wholeheartedly. If you have even the slightest critique of their opinions, then you need to sit down and listen in their opinion. There is no dissent allowed in that sphere. At least not on a wide variety of issues.
He thinks that I criticized the video. That's why he thinks that I didn't like him. That's why he thinks that I tried to insult him or something. Not because that I'm like, not because that we had some like core huge disagreement. It was because I had a slightly different disagreement, and pun not intended. If you're not whipped into line with these people, they will try to destroy you. They don't like you. They don't want you. They want you dead. Sometimes.
Yeah, no, exactly. I said it before. I literally said earlier, they would celebrate. They want us dead. And many of you guys might have thought I was being, like, over-exaggerating or whatever. No, Shark's saying it too. He's been at the receiving end of this shit as well. They send death threats. They fantasize about killing you. They, like, if something bad happens to you, they celebrate it. They fantasize about you dying. If you did die, they would celebrate it. Shark's not wrong.
They'll laugh at you if you die. We just saw that. They're friends with people who laugh at trans women when they die. And I'm supposed to take these people seriously when they're sitting here telling me that I'm the bad guy here? Here's the thing. Almost none of them brought up any real points for why they dislike me. Or they didn't articulate it well at all. They would have gone through and read everything and showed everything and said everything if they thought that I was really that bad of a guy. They would have a lot of information to show, but they don't. I wonder why. That video that I made, it's a great video. I think it's a great video. Fantastic video, actually. I was very succinct. I was very clear. And I was very nice in that video, but that's not good enough for them. They don't want niceness. They don't want discussions. They don't want to cross the aisle. They want you to be in line with them or you're dead to them. That's how it is. After this occurred, this Tayurb person then went on to try to attack me in my own chat while I was streaming. Yes, really. I didn't see the message because the message was so vile that it got caught by automod and then they got banned by a mod. That's how bad the message was. And then they got mad at me because I didn't look at their message. But I'm going to save the message that they said for.
Hey. Guess who else goes into live streams of lefty streamers and spams like shit so vile in the chat that the auto mod catches them and insta-bans them? What other group of people tends to do that kind of stuff? Happened a couple times tonight already and I've had to ban those people. The answer's Nazis. It's what Nazis do. We had a Nazi come into YouTube chat like 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, and just start spamming the N-word over and over again. These woke scolds behave not much differently than Nazis do. It's really crazy. And not only that, but we literally just looked at tweets where they were calling for Kiwi Farms to attack the Friends of Eden who were mourning her death. They see Nazis and the far right online as weapons to be used against the lefty figures they hate. They don't want to defeat the right. Remember, just like Jesse Gender said, it's not about winning. There needs to be a prominent right wing in order for, like, there to be something for them to weaponize against the left. Or parts of the left they don't like. To be honest, woke scolds don't have that much power. They don't have that much numbers. But if they can create an environment where it's more likely for normies and the right to attack a certain lefty figure for a variety of things, then they'll do it. It's why so many of these woke scolds pass around the manufactured video that was made by that one neo-Nazi guy, I Hypocrite, the You're Fat guy that got destroyed by Vosh in that one debate. After he got destroyed in that debate by Vosh and then called him fat, he put together a edited bit of clips that's supposed to be like Vosh admitting to being a pedo or something. But then when you actually look at the original like clip from it, it's him like being a logic bro atheist about how he's frustrated people can't logic bro the debate why pedophilia is wrong like he can, which is cringy as fuck, but certainly far from being an admission of being a pedophile. But yeah, basically, he put that together as, like, copium after getting BTFO'd in a debate. But woke scolds take that clip, which was literally made and uploaded by a Nazi, as copium for losing a debate against a lefty, and then they spread it around and say it's real. And they don't care that it was made by a Nazi, because Nazis to them are a tool they can use to fight against the lefty figures they don't like. Because their top priority is lunch table politics. It's all about drama and building their social club and maintaining their social club.
Moment at the very end. I feel like it'll hit more then. Anyways, they tweeted effing sad, right? After they commented something incredibly vile, full of slurs, into my Twitch chat, and then they got removed by the mods, and then he got banned by the mods. Somebody in the comment section then said, "Donate it, lol." And then said, "Did it go through?" As he was trying to donate to me. As he was trying to donate to me, I saw that what they were trying to do, somebody sent me it, and I said, and I didn't want him to donate to me. I don't want his money. I don't want any of their money. I don't want any of them to know anything about me. I wish they were all gone. Vanished from planet Earth. So I then responded with, "Do not donate to me. I don't want your money. I didn't see your message in chat. I don't know if you want to talk, but if you do, we can." That's all I said. In response to my very normal tweet, he then went on to say, "Set donations for the Cop City for the Stop Cop City campaign in Atlanta and guarantee $1,000 out of pocket, and maybe I'd give you the time of day. Which is so strange. This is him trying to take something out of FD's playbook. FD recently said that Destiny needs to donate $25,000 to Stop Cop City Atlanta, that campaign, in order for them to like have a discussion on stream. I don't know. I don't really have a huge opinion on like, you donate money here to me or something, and then maybe we'll talk. It just seems, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I would just say donate it, you know. But if it gets donations to good places, then who really cares? I'm not going to be doing this. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't care about this person. I never will, and I never have, and never will. They said something to me. So I said, if you want to talk, we can. I wasn't even saying talk on stream, but he just took that as a huge insult for me saying if you wanted to talk, we could, and take it into private, because I didn't have like a big like hate boner for him at the moment, and I still honestly don't. I don't have many feelings for him. He just seems like a shitty, stupid person, actually, at the end of the day. And
true.
That's just kind of how it is.
They're all shitty, stupid people.
But on the $1,000 thing, I don't know how rich these people think I am. I'm not very rich. I'm not a very rich streamer. My channel doesn't make a crazy amount.
None of us are rich. Okay, like even I don't even know if you would even consider Vosh, who's like the largest lefty streamer, rich. Like well off, sure, but rich? No. Hassan is really the only lefty streamer who's rich. And do you know why Hassan is rich? Do you guys want to know why Hassan's so successful? And this is something I plan to employ, a method I plan to employ. Fairly soon as well, because I mean, it's certainly not a bad thing. So that Hassan isn't afraid to diversify his discussion. Hassan talks about all sorts of shit, collaborates with all sorts of content creators, and does all sorts of things outside of politics. He's become like the de facto like politics guy on Twitch because he does so much other stuff and brought in an audience from those other things. A lot of lefty figures in the streaming space especially tend to be kind of afraid to get outside of their comfort zone of talking politics. Hell, sometimes even the audience gets mad if you do. But you've probably seen, oftentimes do that. I like to step out of that comfort zone and do, experimental types of content. The drama content is a big part of that. And sometimes my own fans will get mad about it. But for every comment I get mad that I'm doing drama videos on a drama video, I gained 10 new subscribers. I'm sorry, but democracy wins.
Of money. My stream also doesn't make a crazy amount of money. I'm not a crazy rich person. I give every single dollar of my YouTube money to my editors so they can keep editing full time for me and the channel. I don't know if they see like the huge, beautiful, mind you, manga collection that I have back here and think that I'm filthy rich, but it's something that maybe in their homes they never grew up with. It's called responsible financial planning. I set aside some money a week on things that I want to buy, and then after those couple of weeks, when I have the money all saved up, that's when I buy the thing. It's just called budgeting. You may not know anything about it, but you can buy things. And nice.
Where's that one image of the shopping cart full of full to the fucking top with a crazy amount of like random garbage groceries, and it's literally filled to the top, and it's comical. And it says, "This is 1 week of groceries for me. This cost me $206. I literally can't live like this." Does anyone have a link to that image? It's so fucking good.
Things, just not instantly. Maybe you should look into it sometime. Could be helpful. After that, I responded in saying, I don't really want to talk to you. You reached out to me, so if you want to talk, we can. But I'm not itching to speak to you in any way. I was just being nice by responding to your message, partner. He then tried to say, I didn't reach out. I criticize you for taking anti-black positions against black femmes constantly. I don't know what he means, but we'll try and get into it. I never have reached out to you. If you want to reach out to me, I stated my terms, Uncle Ruckus. So strange. So strange. But then I said, you sent a message in my stream that you wanted me to read. That is the definition of reaching out, but okay, partner. So here's the screenshot, and here's the message that he said to me. This is the message that he tweeted out after he sent it to me. He said, this is Tayerb. The fact that you hide behind your platform to deter from the point of your massage noir that he misspelled is insane. Stay in your circle jerk of...
I fucking love the Dark Souls music. This is the Soul of Cinder music. It's good.
White leftist, you're pitiful. I hope you're happy with your coon-ass self. FR, period. The fact that you can't show a shred of sympathy for any black women, yet critique my video with some form of self-extrapolation is wild. Also, at that point in time when he was sending that message, I was working, unlike him, apparently. I wasn't hiding. I was working. I was doing work. I was at my job. I was making segments and interacting with my community. I'm sorry, whenever random internet user 445 has a problem with me, I don't stop literally everything that I do on planet Earth to go deal with it until it is completely done. I am working. And so, no, I didn't respond to you. I was at my job. Maybe you should try and get one someday. Now, I just don't get how he's getting the idea that I critiqued his video. In my video, I literally just said that I think that I want more black.
It's crazy because so many of these Twitter accounts are like big Twitter personalities that have like a lot of following in the woke scold sphere, and they post nonstop all day. But they're not YouTubers and they're not streamers. They don't have any following that's monetizable. And it's like, you tweet 24/7. What do you do for a living? And there was one of these figures that was I forget what their name was. Fuck. I'm digging deep here. Like, I'm digging deep into old lore. But basically, it was this account where the profile picture was like a demon, sort of. Like a demon lady was the profile picture. Why? What's happening here? This was somebody trolling me. This was the work of an asshole. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch! My fishing spot just got totally fucked out of nowhere. Just a random turtle just rolls up on me, and it ruins my entire fishing day. Yeah, I'm fucked. Wait, maybe not? No, the snapjaw is gonna kill me. There's no way out, yeah. Fuck. Yeah, that was really weird. I think a player trolled me and dragged a player over. Yeah, so basically...
people to be in the space, and I want more black people to do things that I'm doing as well. And I think that these people make good content. I just think that we get pigeonholed.
Fuck, what? Okay, sorry. I can't think. Yeah, so basically, what was I talking about? Fuck. Oh, yeah. So there was this lady, I forget what her name was, but she had like a demon lady profile picture, not demon mama, shut the fuck up, chat. But this person was like, frankly, one of the most evil woke scolds I've ever encountered. Definitely, like, if they're still around and like haven't committed suicide yet, definitely was celebrating the death of Eden. So we're talking like a real scum fucking piece of shit. Basically, this person, like, I don't remember why I was talking about. Oh, yeah. Basically, this person would, like, nonstop shit talk me on Twitter back in, like, early 2020, like, late 2019. Just nonstop shit talk me. And I was always like, how is this person, like, you know, what does this person do for a living or whatever? And as it turns out, I end up finding out that their entire, like, internet personality, when I click on their account, is all about like being disabled to a degree that's like excessive. Like social justice demon. It might have been that. That sounds about right. Yeah. Like it was to the extent that it was like, oh, you've made this your entire personality. And I very quickly realized, oh, this person does not work. They sit in bed all day on Twitter. And they've decided that they're going to dedicate their whole day of scrolling Twitter to shitting on me. And so I blocked them, made a video on them, and I don't think anybody takes them seriously. I haven't heard about them in a long time.
Into talking about black issues when we don't necessarily always want to. And people compartmentalize normal creators and learning creators, and they just take a detour at, like I said, Negro land to go hear what like black people, women, trans people, minorities, all these types of people want to say, gay people, queer people, you know, anything along these lines. They stop by to see what we have to say, but we're not the destination. We're just here to be the black voice, so they can say that, oh, I have like a black creator who does black things and I listen to them, and they're my learning creators, not my fun creators, not my normal creators. They're not in the normal community. They're different. They're otherwise. They're not just a creator. They're an insert identity creator. That's what I was saying in the video. I guess he just...
That's a good point. I never thought about it that way. That a lot of people see like content creators that are part of a certain like identity as like a learning creator and not an entertainment creator. I can see how that would be like demeaning to an extent.
Didn't care. And you can watch the video yourself. I think it was a very good video. Just none of them cared. They just don't care when I have good things to say. They only latch on to, they just latch on to whenever I just slightly disagree with them, but they never want to say that I've done anything good or even agreed with them at any point in time because they don't care. I don't agree 100% on literally every issue that's in their mind and kowtow and bend the knee to everything that they have to say unquestioningly, without thinking, without putting my own thoughts into it, without coming to my own conclusion, without anything. They don't care. They don't want it. They don't like it. Thinking is bad for them. And so for the people who do it, they hate. And I don't want to say this as a sort of, I'm a free thinker. I'm the only free thinker. I think I'm not sure what a free thinker really is. Everybody's influenced by somebody. Everybody's influenced by somebody. And we all have boundaries for who we talk to and what they believe and what they say.
There's a few editing errors in the video. Besides that, it's pretty damn good.
I'm just saying that it seems like these people don't really care about how big our differences are. If we have differences, you're the enemy, period. No matter what they are, no matter how big or small they really are. And that's just what I've been dealing with. After this, my correspondence with all of these people basically ended. I blocked near all of them, or just about near all of them, as I thought. I blocked about 1,400 people, and I'm going to be blocking a couple hundred more people as this goes on. I don't really want to talk about this outside of this video, but I'm going to be blocking a large portion of people. At the end, I may add an extra 4,000 people. They're just horrible human beings, and I don't want anything to do with any of them ever again. I hope they... Now, with this being said, I want to move on to some...
Me too, Shark. Me too.
Other people, okay? Joe Lewis. I talked about Joe Lewis. I used to follow Joe Lewis. I used to raid Joe Lewis every now and again when we were streaming at the same time. I thought he was pretty all right. We have some disagreements, but that's fine. I don't really care that much. Apparently he cares a lot on some disagreements that we have. And he said specifically that I'm anti-black and I hate black people and everything, and I'm a bad person and I'm bad for black people and I'm a shitty person and everything. The reason for why he said this is because Mr. Anti-race mixing himself, Mr. Anti-miscegenation himself, Mr. You shouldn't have babies with white people because that is diluting the dark-skinned black race and will be propping up white supremacy or whatever. But don't take my word for it. Take his word for it. I know I have a lot of frogs who haven't seen this debate or discussion before, but I want to make it known that it is very important to me that we all know about this, because this is a pretty bad guy that a lot of these people are connected with again. And so here's what they said. They tweeted out, "It's been almost a year since my conversation with Shark3ozero," he added me correctly this time. They're getting smarter. And I still can't believe that this is something that actually happened. So let's go into what...
Oh yeah, I have this person very much blocked on Twitter. They're insane.
He thinks actually happened. Before we go too far, two questions, okay? And then I'll answer all your questions.
Sure.
If I were to make a tweet, okay? Because yeah, I grew up in New York, I grew in Missouri, in St. Louis, and I grew up in Kentucky. Not exactly, you know, I don't have to dox myself. Yeah. But with that being said, in a lot of the areas I've been around a lot of white people. And when I go to like Atlanta, Georgia or something, or I go to like North Carolina, we visit some family.
I have so many screenshots of him being so straight up racist to me. Oh, I've had this guy blocked for like over a year. Yeah, no, this guy's been insane for a long time. Like, no, once you've dealt with enough of these fucking psychos, you start to have like a sixth sense for knowing, like, just from the vibes. And I never like base my actions off of those vibes, but it helps me be prepared for what I know is coming, you know? Like, I always had some vibes about Thought Slime before Thought Slime did, like, the sex cult rumor about me. You know, like, I knew something like that was gonna happen. I could feel like that was, you know, somewhere ahead of me, you know?
And they live in what I can only describe. You know, here's how I'll describe it. It's like when I go to see them, it's like what's his name? I was gonna say Kevin Daniels. That's not right. Kendrick Lamar is like the Pimp a Butterfly sort of like album cover, but in real life. Okay, there's like a church's chicken, and then there's like a lot of like poor infrastructure.
Yeah, the album cover. It's me and my homeboys in front of the White House. It's really taking, you know, people from my neighborhood and taking them around the world and letting them see things that I've experienced.
And then there's like kids riding on beat up BMX bikes, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to walk the streets after the street lights come on. Okay, and that's why I go visit some family every now and again. If I were to make a tweet and it was like, let's take a picture, okay? I'm just describing to you the picture. These are not words that I'm saying. It's a picture of like stereotypical. Everyone's dressed as like like early 2000s Soulja Boy. So it's okay. Sure, they look like they're in saggy pants, they bumping in Day Lowrider, and I go, man, I'm so glad I didn't grow up like these people, and I want to make sure that my family never ends up like, my bloodline never ends up like this. This is insane. Would you feel the same exact way you feel about that tweet as you would if I made that hypothetical tweet?
No.
Originally listening back to this, I'm going to tell you, I genuinely couldn't figure out what the problem was. I genuinely couldn't. I just couldn't figure it out. I had no clue what problem people had in this. I still, to this very day, I'm not necessarily sure.
Dude, all right. I will say, okay, there is something inside of me that does find it a little funny that, like, basically I've, like, when you're like a white cishet like lefty streamer dude, and you want to make a point that is like very progressive and very correct, right? You have to watch your wording, because a lot of people will literally just get offended. And it's not even like woke scolds, just people who are a bit more sensitive to these things could get offended or take things the wrong way depending on how you word it, right? Which is understandable, right? So you have to, like, be careful how you, like, word things, because you don't want people to misread what you're trying to say, especially when you're trying to do, like, deep socio-political analysis. Like, say, for example, when you're talking about, like, why in America, statistically, oftentimes black people have a worse socioeconomic position than white people do. The way I said that is not wrong and is not, like, offensive, right? But if I instead worded it like, why are black people poorer in America than white people, or something like that, I think there'd be people who would be a little, like, triggered by that wording. And so now we've gotten to the point where Shark, who is black, is now having to, like, be careful about his wording to make it so people don't think he's racist. Like, when talking about black issues, it is bizarre how far these woke scolds are willing to jump to shit on you. Like, that they're willing to, like, pick apart every tiny word that he said to try to pull some, like, racism conclusion from it. It is just straight up racist what they're doing, by the way. It's just racist.
But what I think is that these people genuinely believe that I hate black people and I hate hood people, and I think that they should be, like, wiped off the face of the earth or killed or something along these lines. Right? Which is just super weird and dumb. Even in that clip, I said specifically, if I were to tweet, and if I said, and this is a picture that I'm showing you hypothetically, but not words that I'm saying. And they ran with that and just thought that that was, and this is what kind of proved to me that these people are either stupid or just don't care about what I have to say. And they're just going to hear whatever they want to hear, is when they ran with this and said that I hate black people. Even in this comment section of when he posted this, they all were like, you hate black people? I didn't know Shark hates black. I didn't know Shark hates the niggas, which is just so weird. It's just so strange. When I made a very clear and poignant, when I made a very clear point about how these two tweets, mind you, and this whole discussion was about whether or not it's okay for black people to tell other happy black people that are in interracial marriages, whether it's okay or not okay, to laugh at, demean, harass, and say that this person is a race traitor and diluting the black bloodline by being married to somebody who's a couple shades lighter than him. That's what this whole discussion revolves around. As you can even see in the video where he has my tweet up, I never want my bloodline to end up like this. That's insane. And then I say these black people grow up in broken homes to parents that never wanted them, then unfortunately make it to an age old enough to tweet just to hate on people being in a happy family that they never experienced. This is fatherless behavior and jealousy, which I 100% stand by. True and real. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, then you're probably one of those kids. I will say, people could possibly use this for racist things. Yeah, 100%. I believe that this could possibly touch on some harmful traits, harmful ideas. I think anytime you insult somebody for anything, they can. We're talking about black people here, and I just think it is wild. I don't want my bloodline to end up like this tweeter. I don't want my bloodline to end up like this 30-year-old man who spends his time getting arguments with like 17-year-olds on the Bird app. Okay, that's how I don't want my bloodline to end up. I very clearly stated how those aren't words that I was saying specifically, but he still just didn't care. I just think it's bad and wrong to say that. It's bad and wrong to harass, demean, say these things about people who are in happy relationships.
It just doesn't matter how clean, like, you keep your reputation. They'll find something. They'll fabricate anything, whatever they have to do to like be able to justify their hatred of you in their Twitter posts.
Relationships with people who are lighter than them, just as I think it's bad and wrong to say I don't want my bloodline to end up like this when we're talking about people from like the hood or something, right? I just think it's super fucked up. I think it's super duper fucked up on both regards, and equally as well. This dude literally unironically went on to say that like hood and black were completely inseparable and hood culture is black culture or something, and black people actually love the hood, which is I just don't know.
All right, I am white. Okay? I am white. Look at me. I have literally become white shark, okay? But I can say, from the outside looking in, all right? one of the most, like, memed quotes is word for word, "We out the hood." I have a feeling it's a little bit cringe to say something like, "Black people love the hood." I feel like that's a little bit disconnected from reality. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. That's just my my outside looking in perspective, but let's hear what Shark has to say.
What to do with. I just don't know what to do with these people. I don't know what to do with these people. What do I do? With that being said, I want to touch on one last thing in regards to this guy, Mr. Anti-Miscegenation guy. And this is why I call him Mr.
Oh yeah, the hood definitely does not love you. Yeah. You may love the hood, but it does not love you. It's a little complicated. The criminal element loves it because they exploit it. Vaughn literally described Blaque as a resort, which is crazy. Or Blaque as a resort, which is crazy. Yeah, it's fucking... So, like, my understanding of the way that it's done is that basically organized crime will utilize low-income areas that are in close proximity to higher or, like, middle-class income areas in order to have, like, a like, nearby... like, they want to be in near proximity to where there is, like, very valuable stuff worth stealing, or you know, people that have stuff. Like, if you're gonna commit crime, you're probably gonna commit crime like, well, it kind of depends on the issue, but wealth disparity tends to lead to more crime between classes. But if you're in an area that doesn't have much wealth disparity, then it's more interclass crime. It actually really depends on the area, but yeah.
Miscegenation guy, okay? Because he came at me and said all of...
It's actually just too complicated to generalize in this case.
This stuff about me, so I'm going to come back at him and show him exactly what he said in our discussion. And I just think it's just super curious. Just listen to this. For the frogs who didn't see the discussion, I think this is going to be super enlightening for you. Wait, let me ask this question. I want to switch it around. Do you think that if you specifically have dark-skinned children, are you fighting back against white supremacy?
Yes, because you're procreating more dark-skinned people.
So
you're doing the opposite of what
when you make more dark-skinned people, you're fighting against white supremacy. But when you make more light-skinned people, you're not helping white supremacy.
Because those kids are still black.
But you said, well, dark skin is what was the important part for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this question here, I wanted to highlight just for a moment. I specifically said,
oh yeah, this side of like lefty Twitter and LeftTube and everything that's like super woke or whatever is extremely colorist a lot of the time. If you're mixed race, you can expect them to give you some shit. In fact, I'm pretty sure Ellen DeGenerate, didn't you literally get shit from somebody in the sphere recently because they found out you were mixed? That's the kind of shit they do. Colorism is very common in that sphere.
Dark skin is what you actually care about, and he agreed, right? Because earlier in the discussion, I talked about how even though your kids are lighter, they're still black. He corrected me and said, I don't care about them being black. What I care about them is being what I...
Yeah, it was one of FD Signifier's mods calling me an old-timey slur. I remember. Yeah, okay, guys. Ellen DeGenerate was in FD Signifier's chat, and one of FD Signifier's mods found out that Ellen DeGenerate is mixed race and called Ellen DeGenerate a slur for mixed race people that starts with O. That when you hear it for the first time, you'd laugh thinking there's no way that's a slur, it's too silly sounding. Sounds like octopus.
Care about is them being dark skin. And so he was flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not black is what really matters.
Zan predicted FD Signifier was terrible long before a lot of people came around. Do you guys remember how much shit I got for saying FD Signifier is a dumb fuck? Can you guys even imagine how much shit I got for simply uttering the words, over a year ago now, FD Signifier is a dumb fuck, because I dared to be right before it was in fashion? That's why I get hate. I get hate for daring to be correct before being correct about that issue is in fashion. That's literally where most of my hate comes from. I remember all that, Zan. It was wild. The same thing is history is once again repeating itself right now, hilariously enough. But with, yeah, you got it right, Prari. Yeah, literally, history is repeating itself here with that exact same line of events with the serfs. The same line of events are repeating themselves with the serfs.
Or whether or not dark skin was what really mattered. And so that's how to dodge this point that he was making, to dodge this point that I was making and trying to reveal in him, he tried to jump out of the way and say, oh, but they're still black, but black is not what he cared about. It was dark skin. And that's why he agreed. Okay, so they're not dark skin, would they? Would they be? The likelihood would be low.
Between a black person and a white person?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, but
okay.
That kid would still be black at the end of the day.
Okay, so once again, you're telling me you would be fighting against white supremacy to have dark-skinned children, but you would not be helping white supremacy when you have light-skinned children.
Black people having children at all is fighting against white supremacy.
Are you not helping as much? Are you helping less, or are you hurting more than somebody having dark-skinned children?
You are, okay, so in terms of black people, you're not really, it's like neutral, because if you're a black person, your kids are going to be black. That's what blackness is.
We're talking about dark skin here.
Okay, so if we're talking about dark skinned people on an individual basis, it's kind of inconsequential. But yeah, if you, as a whole, as a group, if the majority of dark skinned people decided that they wanted to have kids with lighter skinned people for whatever reason, then that would be the completion of the goal of white supremacy, whether they were conscious of it or not.
If dark skinned black people had children with white people, and so in the future, all black people were just a couple shades lighter than what they are now, that would be the completion of the goal of white supremacy for whatever reason. In this discussion, I was trying to actually be nice to him. I was trying to give him an out by saying that, hey, you don't even necessarily have to be completely peel off this point, because I gave him the out of saying, well, it matters why things happen. As well. And sometimes it can matter more why things happen more than if things happen at all. Because I was saying, I made another hypothetical that he just couldn't possibly understand, which was that we were talking about whether or not like it would be okay or would it matter if there were more or less dark-skinned people in the future. My position is that it doesn't matter if it happens for a natural, normal, and okay reason, which would just be that black people just happen, all of the black people just happen to fall.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest, it's so weird how this has just been revealing how many parallels there are with woke scolds and Nazis. Nazis and woke scolds, and particularly like the types of woke scolds we're talking about are like the Hotep types, and like the black separatist leaning folks who also hate race mixing. The white supremacists who they ally with hate it because they see it as something that's destroying the white race, while the black separatists see it as something that's destroying the black race.
In love with people who were lighter than them, and then they had lighter skinned children. Just end of story. I don't really think it matters. He disagreed. He thought it mattered a lot. He thought it mattered a bunch. He thought it was everything. Actually, he thought it mattered so much that if you were married to a light-skinned person as a dark-skinned person, and you were about to have a child, and your mom or grandma or aunt or something was racist against mixed children or lighter-skinned children and would harass, bully, be bigoted towards that child, he said that the only ethical thing to do would be to break up with your partner, and then not have that kid because you shouldn't bring them into a world where their family is going to be racist towards them. I said, cut the racist person out of their family. He said that's disgusting and wrong and unfair to the kid. So just don't have them. And for my performance in this discussion, I'm a racist against black people. For that belief that he's wrong in this discussion, I'm anti-black people. Out of all of that, there was another person as well who tried to come at me. He was like, there was another person, I think the last person that we're going to be talking about today. He tried to come at me and say that I'm a horrible person. Boy, calling a black person boy. Curious, is it not? Boy, that hard R definitely was a choice. And then I said, that's literally what they're saying about me. Then he said, nigga, you been spending too much time around Vouch and them because you wouldn't know there's a big difference between nigga and hard R. Ain't nobody call you N-word hard R. Probably them debate homies of yours. Stop this cap and come home. We miss you. I never want to be anywhere near you people. You all are horrible human beings. I never want to be anything like you. And the more deviation that you perceive that
come home, we miss you. That is like the kind of line that's supposed to sound welcoming. That sounds more like the family from Resident Evil 7. Like calling out your name as you're trying to hide from them under the floorboards.
Between me and you, the better I think I am
so
as a human being, fundamentally. And apparently the hard R, apparently I don't have the hard R pass. I can't use the hard R, even though that's literally exactly what they're all calling me. What he called me specifically, he literally called me that. And proof of it is right here. I think probably one of the last big, just like interpersonal things that have happened over the last 2 weeks. And it's this. Jesse Earl, or Jesse Gender, a transgendered YouTuber, white, mind you, responded with this to say, debate Twitter right now. and then posted a movie of, I've been informed, is the Django with a house slave or something clutching onto a presumably slave owner. And I'm supposed to be the slave, and Vosh is supposed to be the slave owner. This is Jesse specifically liking a picture of me depicted as a slave because I disagreed with some of the people who she thinks are cool. The white sheep feeding shark to the wolves after this person called them out on they shit. Who these people are, I guess. Now, for me personally, I deleted some tweets before, going after some people, you know, sniping back at people who were insane, because I actually care about.
I'm gonna criticize Shark for not having seen Django. It's such a good movie. It is a really good movie. Yeah, you're not wrong. It is really, really good. And it is cringe not to have seen it. To be fair, Quentin Tarantino has kind of a reputation.
Some of the things that I say. The reason why is because, you know, even if I didn't want to delete that tweet, I deleted the tweet mostly because I didn't want to give the white people in my audience basically a free card to call a black person like a slur or something. That's the main reason why I didn't do it. Actually, for this reason specifically is why I deleted some of those tweets. Some of the tweets that they didn't like, that I all stand by, mind you. One of the big tweets that they're really upset about was me calling this girl a negress. This is one of these people who are once again attacking Eden and her friends and making fun of them and using the opportunity of a dead trans woman from the Middle East, using her death as a cudgel against people who they don't like. Honestly, I was in between calling her a negress and a negrita.
All right, I'm gonna be honest, okay? Here's my hot take, all right? Some of you may disagree with this, all right? It's a bit of a scalding take, okay? Black people can say the N-word. I think they can say it. I know. A bit of a controversial take, but in my opinion, I think it's okay when black people say the N-word. Obviously, there are contexts where it can be like just as bad and just as racist as a white person saying it, I'm sure. But I think the racial component typically is not there. I think it's fine, and I think most society agrees it's fine.
I really wanted to go with Negarita. It was really good, but I went with Negress at the end of the day. I think next time I'm in a kerfuffle with these people, I think I'll pull out the Negarita. It's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, sorry. It's just a funny word, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Fuck.
God damn, he's just going hard. Holy shit.
Thank you. How about that? You want to call me a coon? You want to call me Uncle Ruckus? You want to call me this, that, and the third? You want to call me a house N-word? There are many people who came out of the woodwork to sit here and agree with all of these people who are incredibly disgusting towards me. FD included, only stick his neck out for Jessie Gender when I said that she's literally using this as an opportunity to call me a house N-word, but they all thought not only was it okay, but it was also funny. In FD's words specifically, he thought that it was hilarious. And so if I'm going to be hello, pup. Nice to see you. I guess to wrap things up, mostly, if they want to act funny, I'm gonna act hilarious. If she want to act funny, I'm finna act hilarious. I don't like any of these people. I think they're horrible human beings, and I want literally nothing to do with them. Even in the Innuendo Studios, the channel themselves even came out to try.
Yep. Innuendo Studios is also in this sphere and is also a piece of shit. It sucks because the alt-right playbook videos are really good. But yeah, Innuendo Studios is also in this sphere and a piece of shit. I feel like there does need to be like some sort of like publicly accessible like chart, like alignment chart that shows you like who's like if you're a crazy woke scold, here's the group you're supposed to hate. If you're a decently like well-adjusted person, then this is the group you're supposed to hate. I feel like there needs to be, because like a lot of you guys are getting surprised when I inform you, oh, by the way, this also popular lefty figure is also engaging in this horrific behavior. And it's like, I feel like that knowledge should be more known. Like, you guys shouldn't be surprised by that. You should have known this already. And I'm glad I've now informed you, but I feel like it should be more known.
And to co-sign calling me a house N-word because he just thought it would be funny, because Jessie Gender can do no wrong. So if she calls me a house N-word, then I must be a house N-word because them and their clique can do no wrong, and they're just not wrong. And so if I'm a house N-word to one of them, I'm a house N-word to all of them, and that's just how they operate. And I don't want anything to do with any of these people. I'm going to use this now to cut off all of these people. I've blocked the vast majority of them. I'm going to continue blocking them moving into the future. I think they're terrible. I want nothing to do with them. I don't want to speak of them.
It's exactly what I do.
I want nothing with them. This is not an apology video. This is an explanation about how you don't deserve your money, your clout, your platform, your viewers, who you are. You don't deserve any of this, and you don't deserve any respect from me. And so that's why you won't be getting it. I'm sick and tired of you people, and I've been way nicer to all of these people than any single last one of them deserve. I've been nicer, kinder, more patient with every single last one of them, more than they ever deserve. And so with that, I'm done. I'm relatively quiet on a lot of this, and even days after it was released, I didn't release, after all of this stuff was coming out, I didn't say anything. I'm not wildly on Twitter like a lot of these people, like sycophant, posting 17 times an hour all day. I've got things to do in my day. I've got segments to make. They release videos like once every 10 months or something, so obviously their schedules are pretty empty. You know, that's just
They release like one video every 3 months, but they've got like 10,000 supporters on Patreon. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Kind of is what it is. And I just wanted to let you all know what's been going on with me kind of behind the scenes. Like I said, I'm fine. I'll be okay. I just wanted to get this out there because they're going to continue lying about me. They're going to continue using slurs against me. They're going to continue saying this or that against me. They're going to be doing all of this type of stuff. So I just wanted to let this out here and let this sit here as like a form of me being like, here's my opinion on all of this stuff, because I'm a pretty quiet person. And the problem with being a quiet person is that there are a lot of people who want to speak for you. And there's a lot of people who've been trying to stand up for me, and I really respect that and I really appreciate that. The problem is you're not me. And some of them were trying to speak for me before I spoke myself. And I want to say that I don't want to have them do that and then have my words be twisted to ways.
I get that. I feel like I did a pretty like decent job of covering it without like speaking for anybody. But it can be pretty hard to like cover stuff like this without like presuming things and assuming things. But in particular, I doubt he's referring to me. I hope he's not subtweeting me.
That I may not agree with or something, so I just wanted to let this out now. And I'm just sick of them. I'm sick and tired of them. They're terrible human beings. I've been nicer than they deserve, and I would say that I don't want anything to do with any of these people for the rest of time. And with that being said, shout out to Soul King, at Soul King Lives. This is where I got this sick My Hero Macadamia Nut shirt with Tomura Shigaraki on it, if you were wondering where it came from. A sick black streetwear and anime-based artist and clothes designer who puts together some really cool stuff. So if you're a big anime fan, go check him out. He's a cool guy. Thank you so much to my artists on the channel, Twisty, Sad Lil Gothy on the...
Okay. Well, all right then. That was a pretty good video. It went pretty hard. I'm very happy that he just, like, didn't pull any punches. I was kind of worried that he would be charitable to the, like, abusers that have been attacking him, but he did not give any quarter, and I respect the fuck out of that. I was worried that he might, and my worry was absolutely misplaced. He handled that absolutely perfectly. I think he handled that really, really well. That was a really good video. I think it was really good that he focused on the fact that the people that are attacking him, who are claiming he's racist and he's anti-black, are themselves racist and anti-black. And also just massive pieces of shit. I'm really glad that he didn't just... he went hard. He dropped the nuke there. I'm really curious to see how that sphere of Twitter is going to respond. Like, are they just going to implode him themselves? Are they going to ignore it? Because at this point, they can't really hold that veneer of denial that they had, right? Like, they've been attacking Shark, but the thing is, Shark is so, like, clearly not the things they're accusing him of, that I feel like FD Signifiers fans, Jesse Genders fans, all these larger figures are going to, like, seek out Shark to hear his side of the story because they're interested in hearing his side of the story. Because they're going to be much less likely to believe it, because Shark hasn't gotten into a ton of drama. Shark keeps his nose clean. I feel like Shark has handled this perfectly, and in the end, he's going to grow a lot from this. And I think that FD Signifier, Jesse Gender, and all these figures, if anything, are going to hemorrhage a little bit because of this. Zobi is apparently shilling the Soul Bunny video too. It doesn't surprise me. You have to understand, it is literally an entire, like, spider web of these people that all are in a clique together, and they've all decided the only way to avoid the woke scolds attacking them is to become the woke scolds themselves. But yeah, I'm so glad that Shark came out swinging. I full support with Shark, or for Shark. Uncritical support for Shark in all of this.